Alright guys, this is a little instructional video on how to do some research for your geography assessment using your assessment scaffold. First thing I want you to do is install an add-on called Paperpile, which helps you with your referencing of your sources. Go to your add-ons menu, click Get Add-ons, type in Paperpile in the search bar, and I've already added it to mine, but you just press the blue button and it will add it to your Google Docs menu. It will now turn up in your add-ons menu. Okay, so I'm just going to show you an example of how to source some maps to do this first part of your assessment about patterns of weather and climate using the Bureau of Meteorology website. And this scaffold has a bunch of hints or instructions on what you need to do for each part of your assessment. So please read it and follow it and do it. No excuses. So what we're looking for is maps of things like average rainfall, summer rainfall. We're going to caption the map, put a numbered caption underneath it, and we're going to reference it using Paperpile. So this is how to do that. In your Google Classroom there's a link to maps of average conditions. Down the left hand side there's a whole bunch of menu items. Make sure you open up the Maps Average Conditions menu, because that's the one where you get the averages, which is what climate is about, averages. And you've got lots of options there. I've chosen mean rainfall, as in average, not nasty. And you can select annual, but you can also select the rainfall for a month, which is how you can get your seasonal rainfall. You can look at January for summer, for example, or July for winter. So I'm going to just capture, as a first example, the annual average rainfall. So I've got the map there. I'm going to use my snipping tool from my applications menu, which you all should have on your computer at school at least. Draw a box around the map, which copies it to your clipboard, which means you can then paste it directly into your Google Doc. So we just click in line there, hit enter a few times until all your numbered lists and stuff disappear, and paste. And you may want to adjust the size a little bit. Don't make it too small. We want to be able to actually read the data on there. It's a good idea to put subheadings in, regardless of what format you're ending up doing this. It could be a PowerPoint or a report or whatever, but you should have subheadings to indicate what you're talking about or what you're displaying. Center it. Looks better centered. And then you underneath put a caption. First one should be figure 1, and then a title of whatever that image is showing, which is average annual rainfall in this case. And the next one obviously will be figure 2. So now what I'm going to do is show you how to reference this map using Paperpile. So if you put your cursor just next to the caption, copy the web address, the URL for the page where you got the map, go back to your document, go to your add-ons and select Paperpile and manage citations. It just loads the add-on, and what you're going to do is create an in-text citation, a reference in your report to that source, and then it'll also generate something for your bibliography. Paste the web address into the Paperpile search bar, and it generates a little source summary. Click the button Cite, C-I-T-E, and it will generate an in-text citation. Now there's a couple of different formats. This one is called Chicago. It shows you the title of the source in a bracket. A nice, neater way to do that is using a format that uses footnotes, so it's just a little number. and you can change that over on the right here if you choose one called Nature, and then click Update Citations and Bibliography. It will think about it for a while and reformat that citation as a footnote. So there's a little number there, and it's generated the full reference at the end of the document, so you can use that text and for your bibliography, but you've got a footnote in there. I'm just going to move this up next to the caption because it just works better there, makes more sense. And you've now referenced that source in the text and in a bibliography. And you can use that source again once it's there in your Paperpile. You don't have to generate it again, you can just cite it again next time you use that web page. So now we're going to have a look at another map. On that same page we can switch to January to get a summer rainfall pattern. Go to our snipping tool and choose a new snip. Snip a screenshot of the map. Back to our document. Resize. Center. And we'll put another caption. This is our second picture. We'll call it figure 2. And we'll call this summer, because our point here is to show the seasonal patterns. See, summer rainfall pattern. And now we got this from the same website, so we can simply go over to Paperpile and cite again the same source, and it'll generate another citation in there. Now it's still wanting to do it as a bracket, but if we press that update button again, it will reformat it into another footnote. And it will now have a second reference, have a little number 2 next to that, and I'll have a second reference for that source again. And so that's how you keep track of your sources and making sure you're not plagiarizing your work. Now, as well as the maps, you actually have to write about or describe. If you're doing some sort of video, you might do it verbally on audio. But a good feature of Google Docs is you can type stuff into it and you can share it with me, and I can give you some feedback on your writing and some suggestions about how to improve it on the same document. So if you have a go at describing the patterns of rainfall and temperature, once you've got your maps sorted out, you can then share your document with me. Make sure you read these instructions and follow them. This is how to share. You press the share button up on the top. You type in my email address, which is on the screen here. You set it to can edit. That means I can put suggestions and comments into your document, which you can see, and you can use that as feedback to improve your assessment before you hand it in. And I'd like everyone to have a go at this. Alright, go for it.